Do you not agree that if we don't find these people soon, that we are at risk of a 9/11 or worse?
It's coming. I mean, why did 2 million illegal aliens pay more to get away? They could have paid half of what they paid, cross the border, turn yourself into a border patrol agent, get released that same day, get a free airline ticket to the city of their choice, get a free hotel room, get 3 meals a day, plus free medical care and work authorization. 2 million people paid more to get away. They didn't want to be vetted. They didn't want to be fingerprinted. Why? This scares the hell out of me. I've been doing this for 40 years. It should have scared the hell out of every American what the Biden administration did. This 2 million known gotaways scares the hell out of me. So I'm convinced something's coming unless we can find them.
He's dang right. Something is coming that could look like September 11th all over again. And quite frankly, it could be, say, a terrorist attack from Iran or something from the freaking Communist Party. I mean, I've got evidence to show you today that is really going to scream that there are signs everywhere regarding China and how they could potentially attack United States on our soil. You guys are going to be floored by today's broadcast. I really have a lot to share with you, and I'm going to ask you to hold on for this report. But I'm going to start with this. I have been reporting on this because there's a lot of new developments on this, right? Take a look here. And this is just kind of to add to it, but this is on MSN.com, Z News. U.S. Defense Secretary says China to invade Taiwan by 2027. Speaking at the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore, Hegseth claimed that the Chinese President Xi Jinping has given a timeline till 2027 to its military to prepare to take control of Taiwan, an independent island claimed by Beijing as its own. As you know, if they go to war with Taiwan, United States will then be dragged into the war. And you know what? The Chinese military is actively preparing by planting stuff in our homeland. Now, before I get into any of that, I want to remind you to check out my sponsor, Noble Gold Investments. You see, here's the hard truth. Every 6 years, your dollar loses half of its buying power. That means that $100,000 in 2031 could turn into about $50,000. But there's a way to protect and preserve your money against things like that, and that is investing in gold, even precious metals, or even silver. I want to encourage you to hedge your bets in the right way, but Noble Gold makes it very easy for you to do that. Give them a call on the number on the screen. Let them know Lisa Haven sent you, and they're going to send you this free 10-ounce silver American flag bar with any qualified account. So make sure you mention my name with that. But on top of it, if you're looking to get a 401k, a Roth IRA, or something backed by gold, silver, and precious metals, they can absolutely help you with that. And they're a no-hassle call center. They're very, very sweet on the other line. But if you want more information, go to lisahavengoldthere.com, fill out that form, click get it now, and they'll send you a free gold and silver investment guide, or give them a call at the number on the screen. There's always a risk to investing, never a guarantee. If you want more info, click that more button if you're on your cell phone, or click the link in the description box below. All right. So how bad is it here in the United States of America? How much Chinese influence and how much Chinese impact do we have here? Because there's some massive stuff that just happened very, very recently. But before I get into that massive stuff that has happened, I've got one question to start with, right? First of all, back in 2023, under the Biden administration, remember that balloon that went flying across the country for a rather extended period of time, and the Biden administration refused to take it down, which I believe he refused to take it down because Joe Biden is compromised by the Chinese party. But anyway, he allowed it to flourish and make its way over a military base, and then they finally shot the balloon down. The question is, did we ever have answers on this balloon? I mean, what's the update? Well, Fox News came out just recently, yesterday, as a matter of fact, and finally gave us answers to that. And let me be blunt, you're not going to like them, but take a listen to this.
We never really got the backstory on the Chinese spy balloon.
You know what? You're right. I owe you an answer on that. I'll get it for you and I'll come back on your show and I'll announce it on your show.
That's what's, because what happens is we move on to other things.
We do.
The world moves on to other things. And then we kind of had this segment on the show, Whatever Happened to tap back into that.
This is a great point. We're trying to chase down all those whatever happened to that, while at the same time not taking our eyes off the mission. The whatever happened to the first basket, those answers could have come to you from the prior administration, prior leadership. You didn't get them.
Nope.
And I understand the urgency.
Next, we look at
Wow. We don't have answers to that. You know, hey, now that you remind me, I'm going to look into it. I get it. I'm going to give Kash Patel some slack there. He's got a big freaking job because everything under the Biden administration was pushed under the rug. Why don't we have answers to that? Because more than likely Biden was compromised and compromised our freaking country. And this is what pisses me off, like to the hilt, right? That they allowed this stuff. Speaking of that, rather recently, just this week, 2 Chinese nationals tried to smuggle in, right, a biological pathogen that could really obliterate our crops. You know, in the event of China going to war, say with Taiwan, they could release something like that and devastate us all. Take a look at what I'm talking about. And you may have heard this story. It's a couple days old, but I have to share it in light of everything. CBS News, 2 Chinese nationals accused of smuggling dangerous biological pathogen into Michigan. 2 Chinese nationals are accused of smuggling a potential agro-terrorism weapon via a noxious fungus into the U.S., according to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Michigan. Jean worked at the University of Michigan, according to her officials, and her boyfriend Lou works at a Chinese university. The investigation is a joint effort of the FBI and Custom and Border Protection. Quote, the alleged actions of the Chinese nationals, including a loyal member of the Chinese Communist Party, are of the gravest national security concerns, U.S. Attorney Jerome F. Gordon Jr. said in a statement. These 2 aliens have been charged with smuggling a fungus that has been described as a potential agro-terrorist weapon into the heartland of America, where they apparently intended to use the University of Michigan laboratory to further their schemes. I want you to notice their connection to the CCP. Hey! Bam, China goes to war with Taiwan. Just look what we have to release in the United States of America. Thank God this got busted, but what hasn't been busted? But it goes on to say that the officials say the noxious fungus causes head blight, a disease of wheat, barley, maize, and rice, and is responsible for billions of dollars in economic loss worldwide each year. Fusarium granarium's toxins cause vomiting, liver damage, and reproductive defects in humans and livestock. According to the complaint, Yin received Chinese government funding for her work on the pathogen in China. The complaint so alleges that Yin's electronic contained information describing her membership in and loyalty to the CCP is further alleged that her boyfriend Lou works at the Chinese university where he conducts research on the same pathogen, and that he first lied when he came into the United States about smuggling it in and then later told the truth. You know what's interesting? I read the whole New York Times article on this. Not one mention of their links with the CCP. Not one mention on it about that. The mainstream media is completely quiet. Why would they be quiet? Are they getting paid by this? I mean, this is why I am saying we have to be ready for attacks even on our homeland from foreign invasions, from foreign terrorists, from foreign Communist Party members. This is actually happening. Are you ready? In fact, Kash Patel came out and he sounded the alarm on all of this. And here's what he says in this Fox News article. He says, this case is a sobering reminder that the Chinese Communist Party continues to deploy operatives and researchers to infiltrate our institutions and target our food supply, an act that could cripple our economy and endanger American lives, Kash Patel told Fox in a statement. Smuggling a known agro-terrorism agent into the U.S. isn't just a violation of law. It's a direct threat to national security. I commend the FBI Detroit Division and our partners at the CBP for stopping the biological threat before it could do real damage. I wonder how much of this was allowed across the border. Unvetted. They could have easily brought it in walking across the border under the Biden administration. And Lord only knows if that has happened. Maybe that's why Tom Homan is warning that another 9/11 could happen on the homeland. Speaking of that, I got to show you this map, right? This map closest to my face. So Chinese-owned farmland in America. It's all the red dots you see. And I want you to notice the other map, the breadbasket, to the far right of the screen. Notice where the red dots line up in conjunction with that breadbasket, right? Right conveniently in some of that area. And the other thing I want you to notice, which you guys are likely already aware of if you've been watching my channel, is the red, the Chinese-owned land, is all by what? Air Force bases, military bases. Pretty much a majority of them, like I would say like 75% of them, maybe 90. There's one up in the top, but hey, it's still kind of close. It's by all of them. By all of them. Meanwhile, here in Arizona, right? It sounds like we've got more compromised people. Take a look at this. This is Fox News. Democrat governor ripped as total disgrace after vetoing a bill limiting Chinese land ownership near military bases. Governor Katie Hobbs of Arizona called the vetoed bill ineffective and said it could lead to arbitrary enforcement of land purchase restrictions. Really, Mrs. Hobbs? I see there in Arizona. Let's blow that little part up. Yuma Proving Grounds. And, you know, some Chinese-owned land in Arizona is pretty dang big. Look how big that chunk is of Chinese-owned land in Arizona. And this Democrat governor says, no, we'll just go ahead and allow that. And we're talking about land ownership near military bases. And she vetoes this? Somebody's got some explaining to do. Is there ties with this woman and the CCP? Seems like a lot of people in the Democrat Party have some are like-minded when it comes to the CCP. They all want communism. They're all selling our country out. Why the hell would Katie Hobbs do that? But yet she did. Why did Joe Biden allow a balloon over our country? I believe it was for weeks, maybe even longer than that. It was weeks. And I'm blanking on the exact time frame, but for weeks. Why would you allow that? Why would we allow constant hacking from China over and over and over again? And why are they doing it? NBC News, Chinese hackers stole large amounts of Americans' phone data from 8 telecoms officials say. This was in late December or early December. Then we also have Chinese strategically infiltrate U.S. critical infrastructure as cyber attacks escalate. That's January 10th, 2025. Then we have another one here, also March 5th, 2025. Justice Department charges 12 Chinese contract hackers and law enforcement officers in global computer intrusion campaigns. Thank God we got them, right? Then we have another thing here. And I'm not saying that I don't believe that the Trump administration is allowing this. They got to get a handle on it after it being allowed under Democrats specifically for years on end. And there we have April 11th, 2025. China admitted to Volt Typhoon cyber attacks on U.S. critical infrastructure. In a secret meeting that took place last year between Chinese and American officials, the former confirmed that China had conducted cyber attacks against U.S. infrastructure as part of the campaign known as Volt Typhoon, according to the Wall Street Journal. The meeting took place in Geneva at the summit in December and involved members of the outgoing Biden administration. The U.S. officials who were present were startled by China's admission. People familiar with the matter told Wall Street Journal. The remarks made at the meeting by Chinese officials were indirect and somewhat ambiguous, but the American delegation interpreted that the attacks tracked as Volt Typhoon were conducted in response to the U.S. supporting Taiwan. WSJ reported. The conclusion of American officials after the meeting was that the cyber attacks were meant to scare the U.S. from getting involved in a potential conflict between China and Taiwan. To scare us away. Well, what exactly were the two people coming in with this aggro terrorism meant to do? What about that balloon? What about all the cyber hacking? The Guardian. China remains top military and cyber threat to U.S. intelligence report says. China has the ability to hit the U.S. with conventional weapons, compromise U.S. infrastructure through cyber attacks, and target its assets in space, as well as seeking to displace the U.S. as top AI power by 2030, the annual threat assessment by the IC said. And that was March 25th, 2025. And what are we doing about it? Well, at this time, absolutely nothing. So again, what are the chances of China planning some kind of massive attack inside the U.S. homeland? What are the chances of that? I mean, the signs are everywhere. Are they not? They're being blatantly on. I mean, what are we doing in China? Are we doing cyber attacks to China? Are we sending balloons over their people? I don't know. Are we preparing? Or looks like, the other day I did a report with Jamie Dimon, the banker, who came out and said, hey, we need to be stocking up weapons and ammos because some of our missiles run out in 7 freaking days. I don't have the article, but you can go back and look it up. Just Google it. DuckDuckGo it. I hate Google. Anyway, 7 days and our missiles are gone. It's not funny. It really isn't. It's absolutely terrifying. Hey, there's a little hope from Congress. I don't have any hope in Congress. HR 708, Shield Against CCP Act. Now, this was introduced in January. And you can see introduced. Thankfully, it passed the House. It was introduced introduced January 2025, passed and went on to the Senate in March of 2025. And the Senate still has their little hands on it. Has not yet passed the Senate. Will it? I don't know. They tried to pass this bill before and it never went through. Quinkety. No, what is this bill? It says the bill requires DHS to form a working group tasked with duties related to countering terrorism, cybersecurity, border and port security, and transportation security threats posed to the U.S. by the CCP. Why would any person not want to sign on to that? Why? Especially considering everything. Hey, unless you're like a Katie Hobbs and you're going to veto, the CCP and Chinese from buying land next to military bases, which makes absolutely no sense. Do we have other compromised people within the House and Senate and Congress? I think it's obvious. Anyhow, I think it's a very important report to share with everyone you know. That's what I think. So please share this video far and wide. And by the way, make sure you're still subscribed and like this video. Better yet, get to restrictedrepublic.com. I created this because there is a lot of other stuff that you need to know about that's not being said. And we share a lot of it there exclusive to the platform. And you get 5 extra videos per week from myself and Justice Knight, who is also on there. Use the coupon code Lisa and the number 5 to get it for $5 per month. I really hope to see you there. Anyhow, with all of that, I love you all. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.